If you check with like Walmart and Albertsons and Safeway, I think they will sell you just the unfrosted.
Oh yeah, and they'll sell you the frosting in the tubs. I've gone in and bought it in the tubs. No, I know, but you know what? For practice, when you're just practicing.
Yeah, if they're just practicing decorating techniques, how to ice a cake, how to layer a
cake. You can buy it a
cake.
lot cheaper than you can make it. And
time, you have to
the
take
kids,
your time.
well, and the kids that get to actually spend their time working frosting.
Which, that's when it comes, I've been decorating cakes, let's see, I've known Justin for almost 5 years. Almost 5 years is when I came back from Kansas City the last time. I started decorating cakes when I was in elementary school.
My kids do too in 4-H.
In 4-H. And I mean, I learned how to bake a cake, how to make the icing, how to put it together, up through fondant and gum paste flowers. Which, you know, that's just the vastness of how much goes into decorating a cake. And now you get into, like, people watch the shows of Ace of Cakes and Cake Boss, and they're like, I want this cake, but I only want it for this much money, and...
Well, the other thing you have to realize is some of those aren't even edible. I mean...
Yeah,
a lot of them,
and fondant's nasty.
It is.
It tastes horrible.
if you make your own fondant, you can flavor it however you want.
Yeah,
Right.
but commercial fondant is nasty.
Commercial fondant is absolutely horrible. So because this is a sponge cake, we're actually spraying and flouring the pans, just so that they don't stick.
So rather than, because whenever the big practice thing, we practice is parchment circles.
Yeah.
That's a good way to go. It's
It's my
always,
go-to.
It's always, I guess, just in case.
Yeah.
Because eventually it does happen.
Yeah, parchment circles are my go-to. I can make just about anything out of parchment paper. Justin's seen it. I made him a piping bag for mashed potatoes out of parchment paper one day.
You've done it.
Oh,
You've done it.
So would you, I'm just gonna ask this because if my student did what you just did, I would say you need to get more of that flour out of there.
On this one?
Yeah, that looks really heavy.
Say nope. There's. Yeah, it still looks
Because we
really
would do
heavy.
this. We would do this.
See, but now I'm gonna tell you that there's not enough on there.
Okay. Because I can't, cakes that have that layer of,
We're actually, because it's sponge cake, we are gonna brush an apricot glaze on it.
okay,
So it's gonna take most of that flour off of it.
okay.
So, here's the difference in the consistency of this cake batter versus a box cake. Like, most people would look at it and do the, how did I mess this up?
Yeah, like this is not
Like,
right.
this is not right. There's no way this is right, and it's actually pretty much spot on.
It's the amount of air being into the bottom, basically.
And I've had way too much practice at this. Normally, I would tell people to weigh this so that there was the same amount in each pan. Just so that you had level cakes to work with.
Weight and baking is
Weight and baking is,
huge.
everything's weighed, everything's,
Yeah.
Are you, well, we're using all digital scales. I know a lot of people are still doing weight and balance scales, but quite honestly,
I use digital scales.
and my students happen to be really proficient at digital scales.
I use
because
a
of their
digital scale.
entrepreneurial activities, so.
I use a digital scale, and actually when I started at the hospital,
But yeah, I lock up my digital scales. My knives I leave out in the open, but digital scales, and I always say, you know what? If you're doing this as an entrepreneurial business, you have better digital scales than I do. Don't steal my scales. You guys have
Exactly.
much better equipment if you're selling drugs than what I have in the kitchen.
don't take my stuff.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've ever had stolen was a digital scale, and I was like, seriously?
That's what I was told.
Yeah,
That's